Good morning, class. Today we will take up the question answers of the lesson A Day's Wait. Okay, and in this connection, your A exercise first question: Who was, who is the narrator of the story? Answer: Shat's father is the narrator of the story. Question number two: When did the narrator first notice that Shatz was unwell? Answer: The narrator first noticed that Shatz was not well when Shatz came into the room to shut the windows while his parents were still in bed. Question number three: What was the doctor's diagnosis? Why did he give three different medicines? Answer: The doctor's diagnosis was influenza. He gave three different medicines: one to bring down the fever, a second, a purgative to clean out the system, and a third to overcome an acidic condition as the influenza causing germs survived only in an acidic condition. Question number five: Why did the father go out hunting while his son was resting in bed? Answer: Shad believed that he was going to die because he had heard from a boy in the school in France that nobody would survive if they had a temperature. Oh, I missed out a question number four. I'm sorry. Question four: Why did Shad believe that he was going to die? Pick instances from the story which point out that he believed something was wrong. Answer: Question number four. Shad believed that he was going to die because he had heard from a boy in the school in France that nobody would survive if they had a temperature beyond 44 degrees. And he had heard the doctor say that his temperature was 102 degrees. He did not know that the two temperatures were on different scales. Schatz was detached when his father read to him. He tried to stay awake. He asked his father to leave the room and seemed to want to be alone. Schatz refused to let anyone into his room, saying that they must not get what he had. The above instances from the story point out that he believed something was wrong. Question number five: Why did father go out hunting while his son was resting in bed? Question number five. Answer: The father went out hunting while his son was resting in bed because he had been attending to his son the whole day and now felt that his son was slightly lightheaded and wanted to be left alone for a while. Question number six. When did Schatz realize that he was not going to die? Answer: Schatz realized that he was not going to die when his father explained to him that the two temperatures were on different scales and he was not going to die with a temperature of 102. These are the 5 questions A exercise. Now we move on to B. Answer with reference to the context. But when I came back downstairs, he was dressed, sitting by the fire, looking very sick and miserable boy of 9 years. When I put my hand on his forehead, I knew he had a fever. Now, based on it, the question A question: who are the two people being referred to in these lines? How are they related? B. What was the boy doing? C. What was the boy suffering from? Answer 1A. The speaker is the father and the other person referred to as having fever is his son Shats. 1B. The boy was sitting by the fire, dressed but looking sick. 1C. The boy was suffering from fever. Question number 2. I read aloud from Howard Pyle's The Book of Pirates, but I could see he was not following what I was reading. Now, based on this, the questions are 2A. Who was reading the book? B. Why was the boy not following what the narrator was reading? C. Was the narrator able to make out what was going on in the boy's mind? Now we come to the answer. Answer: Shad's father was reading the book. The boy was not following what the narrator was reading as he was running a temperature and hence was probably distracted and could not concentrate on the story. Then we come on to 2C. At this point in the story, the narrator was not able to make out what was going on in the boy's mind. Question number 3. I'd rather stay awake. And based on it, question A. Who wanted to stay awake? B. Why did the speaker not want to go to sleep? And C. Did the narrator notice something strange about the speaker? Now, answer: Shats wanted to stay awake. 3A. Now, coming to 3B. The speaker did not want to go to sleep because he was scared that he was going to die. 3C. Did the narrator, sorry, 3C. The narrator noticed that the speaker was looking very strangely at the foot of the bed. Coming to question number 4, about how long will it be before I die? Now, based on it, the question: who said these words and to whom? 4B. What was the listener's reply? 4C. Was the speaker actually going to die? Now, answer 4A. Schatz said these words to his father. 4B. The speaker thought that he was going to die because he had heard from a boy in the school in France that nobody would survive if they had a temperature beyond 44 degrees and he had heard the doctor say that his temperature was 102 degrees. He did not know that the two temperatures were on different scales. Then coming to 4C, no, the speaker was not going to actually die. He was just suffering from influenza. Coming to question number 5, poor old Shats, it's like miles and kilometers. You aren't going to die. That's a different thermometer. On that thermometer, 37 is normal. On this kind, it's 98. Based on this, question A, who said these lines? B, why was there a confusion in the boy's mind? C, was the speaker able to convince the boy that he was not going to die? Now, based on it, answers. 5A, Shat's father said these lines. B, there was a confusion in the boy's mind because he did not know the existence of two different scales for measuring the temperature. 5C, yes, the narrator was able to convince the boy that he was going to die by explaining to him he was not going to die. I repeat this 5C again. Yes, the narrator was able to convince the boy that he was not going to die by explaining to him the difference in the temperature scale, likening to be likening it to miles and kilometers. Since I made a reading blunder, I'll just quickly read the last one again. Yes, the narrator was able to convince the boy that he was not going to die by explaining to him the difference in the temperature scale, likening it to miles and kilometers. I hope everything's clear.